We have our next keynote presentation from Mr. Regis Lewis, who is the Vice President for Europe, Middle East, and Africa, and also the Cloud Strategy and Center of Excellence from Oracle, who will be making our next keynote presentation. Welcome, Mr. Regis.
Thank you and good morning all. No, glad to be here with you today. Fantastic discussion so far, very insightful. And who would have thought a year ago that we would be in such a global pandemic with so much impact? No surprise that according to Gartner, 88% of the organizations were not ready to really face the impact of the pandemic. And we've seen the challenges, and many of the speakers before me today have outlined these challenges, very similar challenges across all different industries and frankly, all geographies, and still challenges that people are facing today. I mean, challenges around business continuity. How do you continue your business while all your employees, all your customers, all your suppliers are all impacted by the pandemic? How do you allow your workforce to work remotely at scale while the systems were not necessarily ready for this? Facing new security threat we just talked about, because the systems were not really designed to be accessed outside of the organization. And this need for accelerated innovation, not just short-term to face the pandemic, to implement new business model, but also longer term to really be ready for all the opportunities that will arise when hopefully soon we will get out of this crisis. So technology has played a very significant role to overcome these challenges, and especially cloud computing adoption. And we've seen cloud adoption really raising during this period. IDC made a survey and with European organization saying that more than 30% of the European customers have increased their cloud adoption during the pandemic. And this is just continuing, and that will not stop there, because people have realized that adopting cloud computing is really the way to get access to the systems all the time, always on, from anywhere, where security is built in, and with the ability to really adopt innovation very, very quickly to really adapt to new circumstances. So very big rise of cloud computing. Now we see every organization looking at their critical data, their critical systems, and move this to the cloud. And when you are looking at moving such critical, complex systems that were running on premise to the cloud, all clouds are not equal. And at Oracle, 5 years ago, we made a pretty big move, a pretty big, bold move. We've decided to build from scratch a brand new generation of cloud with one goal in mind: to really provide to all organizations a way to move these critical, complex systems, their critical data, their sensitive data, allow them to move this to a cloud computing model. And to do so, we have really introduced a lot of innovations in the cloud computing model. Let me highlight a few innovations that we have introduced and differentiation of the Oracle Cloud. Well, first of all, because this cloud is built on such a, have been built so recently, built on the latest modern technologies, it provides the highest level of performance in the market and the highest level of price performance in the market, which is critical for your critical systems that you are deploying to the cloud. But not just the highest level of performance, but a performance that is guaranteed, that is consistent with enterprise SLAs, service level agreements, that are unique in the industry, not just for availability, but also guaranteeing manageability of the systems, and as well as performance of the applications being deployed in the system. We've talked about this, the security is now paramount, and we've built this cloud with security at the heart of it, with full physical isolation between the different tenants, where the security is always on. fully automated, where you have data encryption end to end, where security is built at each and every layer of the stack to really simplify the implementation of a brand new security model. Now, as you are moving your critical applications to the cloud, it is not just a matter of having an infrastructure. You need a full set of services and applications for really taking all the benefits of the public cloud. So not only we are providing this new generation of infrastructure, but we've built on top of it a massive number of cloud services built natively on top of it, as well as delivering all our software as a service application, be it HCM, ERP, and so on, all this on the same underpinning infrastructure. And many of your systems, critical systems that is, are very likely relying some way, shape, or form on some Oracle technology. So we've designed the Oracle Cloud to really provide the best platform for moving this Oracle technology or applications technology running on-prem today, for moving them very efficiently and quickly to the cloud. So for instance, on the Oracle database side, the Oracle Cloud is the only cloud where you can adopt things like Exadata as an optimized appliance for running your Oracle database workload. That's the only cloud that provides full high availability for this data. That's the only cloud that provides scale up, scale down for running the Oracle database. Really providing also an automated way to move this critical data to the cloud in a very efficient way. And we've done the same thing for our application. Now think of eBusiness Suite, JD AdWords, PeopleSoft, Siebel. We have done specific engineering to really automate the move to the cloud of these complex applications with all their customizations around them. Now we've done a lot of automation in the cloud, and we've pushed this idea of automation to the extreme, where we have invented that concept of autonomous software. Through machine learning algorithms, we believe that the software can now operate itself without human intervention. And we have applied that concept to the Oracle database, which is fully autonomous. It can patch itself, can tune itself, it can secure itself, repair itself without any human intervention. We've done also this for the Oracle Linux, the operating system, that can also patch itself, configure itself. And this type of concept really cut drastically the operational cost and allow you to really spend your resources on innovations instead of these mundane tasks. Now, something that is at the heart of everybody when adopting cloud is that I don't see any customer adopting one cloud. We all live in a multi-cloud world, and we've designed the Oracle Cloud to play in such a multi-cloud architecture. We've done 50 plus partnership with connectivity providers, excuse me, that allows to connect the Oracle Cloud with any clouds out there. We went even further, and we have done a technology partnership with Microsoft to interconnect our clouds. Azure and the Oracle Cloud interconnected so that you can deploy your workload to any of these clouds, just like if it was one data center. We've done partnership with VMware, so you can take all your VMware workload that you have on premise and move it as is to the Oracle Cloud, running natively on top of this generation 2 architecture without changing the version, without changing your operational model. And finally, we've redesigned this cloud to be fully hybrid, because there's still a class of workload that might still stay on premise. And you want to have this flexibility of deployment. And for this, we have, again, invented a new concept called Cloud at Customer. The idea being, if you cannot adopt the public cloud, we can move the public cloud inside your own data center, be it for the database, be it for the entire set of services that we offer, or be it for workload that you want to run at the edge of your network. So all this is a very high level view of the very key differentiations we've introduced with this Oracle Cloud OCI. And we've now deployed this Oracle Cloud all over the world. We have 29 regions live around the world. And as you can see, significant presence here in Middle East. 9 additional regions are planned before the end of the calendar year. And the year after that, we will add even more and more regions. So very aggressive rollout of the Oracle Cloud so that you can have access to cloud computing as close as possible to where you're located. And this expansion has been done also with a fairly ambitious sustainability strategy in mind. All our data centers in Europe are 100% powered by renewable energy. We do recycling of 29.8% of our servers. We've reduced drastically the usage of potable waters for the cooling, and so on and so forth. So great to see the cloud being available everywhere, but there are still some type of workloads or some organizations or industries who cannot adopt a public cloud model, either because of data sovereignty, either because of industry regulations, or sometimes because of technical constraints, the need of a very low latency between the cloud and your on-premise environment. And to cater to this, we have invented, as I said, this concept of cloud at customer. The idea being to get all the advantages of the public cloud, where you subscribe to services, this is fully managed by the cloud supplier, you have full elastic scalability, a pay-per-use type of commercial model, but having this cloud running inside your data center, giving you the best of both worlds, being able to manage all these regulatory requirements while taking full advantage of cloud computing. So we have adopted this cloud at customer model, first of all, on our database side with Exadata. You can adopt Exadata as an appliance optimized to run your Oracle database. You can adopt it on-premise and you manage it all by yourself. You can adopt it in the public cloud where Exadata is available as a service. And you can adopt it as a cloud at customer, meaning you still subscribe to database as a service. This is still offering you the pay-per-use. This is still offering you full elasticity. But what we do is that we bring a machine inside your own data center, we plug it behind your firewall, and this is the Exadata cloud service running inside your own data center. And we have applied this cloud at customer concept even further, where we have introduced the concept of dedicated region cloud at customer. You know, we have really industrialized the way we are building our commercial data centers around the world. And we are now able to build a full data center, the same way as we build it in our commercial regions, inside your own data center. Still fully as a service, still fully managed by Oracle, the exact same services as we provide in the public cloud, be it infrastructure, platform as a service, software as a service, with the same architecture, all running within your own data center. So we have a lot of different customers around the world who have adopted the Oracle Cloud, but we have a very significant growth in the marketplace. Let me highlight a few customer examples here in Middle East. Oman ICT Group is the IT arm of Oman government, and very strong data sovereignty regulations in Oman, and there was no public cloud data center. So they really wanted to modernize their IT to better serve the citizens, to innovate. And what they have done, they have adopted this concept of dedicated region cloud at customer with the Oracle Cloud, where we have built a full data center, a full Oracle OCI region inside the Oman ICT data center, which gives them access to all the different cloud services to modernize their existing applications, to innovate while having all this running inside their environment and then complying with all their data sovereignty compliance. Another example is that Landmark Group, one of the largest retailers here in the Middle East, where they have decided to move all their different transactions for their retail systems on top of the Oracle Cloud. In 12 months, they have moved 80% of their critical applications for supporting their retail business to the Oracle Cloud. And it was not just a moving their IT from on-premise to the cloud. They really took advantage of this as a real transformation, really improving on their way all their business processes to really offer a full omni-channel experience to their customers and enjoying on the way a fairly significant cost reduction by having done this move. And last example is Madden in Saudi. the largest, the fastest growing mining company in the world. They've decided to move their critical ERP system that rely on the e-business suite to move this to the Oracle Cloud as really an extension of their data center. The goal being to drive more cost efficiency by having these applications running in a cloud computing model, but also much more security. And they've done this move prior to the pandemic, and they already had in mind that moving to the cloud was the best way for them to ensure business continuity and support the very high growth that they have. And that has really allowed them to be more prepared for the pandemic. So to wrap this up, at Oracle, we've spent the last 40 plus years building enterprise-grade technology to support our customers' business, to support these key enterprise applications, to ensure that the high security of all the customers' data. Well, we've done the same thing with the Oracle Cloud. We've built a cloud really designed for the enterprise, a cloud designed to move this enterprise workload to a cloud computing model and accelerate business innovation. And we are really proud of being working together with you all to contribute to your transformation with the Oracle Cloud and to contribute to making you ready for whatever will come up next. With that, thank you very much. I'll be happy to take any questions if we have any time, or I'll take these questions offline.
Sure. Thank you so much there, Mr. Regis. Indeed, a wonderful presentation, I must say, with regards to the cloud technology. Yes, I see a few questions which we have received from the audience. Let's see if we got a quick minute to get this. So yeah, we have one which says, what is your advice for the cloud adoption strategy for a highly regulated industry like the banking industry? So yes, maybe a quick a minute or two on this.
Okay, so many companies are regulated with different type of regulations. And what I see customers doing effectively is first of all, a mapping of their applications, their data on what can be really deployed on a public cloud model with various degrees. Sometimes there's just the adoption of the back office applications is a good starting point, which is not so much targeted by the regulation, like human capital management, for instance, and so on. And then looking at all the different applications that you have and all the data that you have, what is today enabled to move to a public cloud, what would create more concerns with regards to the regulation. Then we're looking at this for the ones that are deemed not possible to move to a public cloud model because of the regulator, looking at adopting this public cloud model inside your own data center, as I've explained, because that's really the reason why we've built this model. Being able to adopt the cloud computing inside your data center, in most of the cases, will allow you to comply with the regulations. In banking industry, we have plenty of customers who have done this consolidation of their most sensitive data using this Exadata Cloud customer I was mentioning. And this has been totally vetted by the European Banking Administration and all other regulations. And we can work with you to really do this mapping and allow you to find the best model to really adopt cloud computing while still adhering to these regulations.
Thank you, Mr. Regis. I hope the question goes answered. So yeah, so thank you so much there. And the audience, yes, we have Oracle representatives at the virtual booth. So if you have more questions, of course, we see a lot of questions which are coming in, but of course, considering the time restrictions, so this can be passed on to you or your team members at a later stage. So yes, for the audience, yes, Oracle representatives are available at the virtual booth, so you can visit the virtual booth to get more information and insights about Oracle's solutions and capabilities for the region. And thank you so much there, Mr. Regis.
Thank you.